Welcome back to the 10-Second Film School, everyone. Happy Noirvember to anyone who celebrates. I wish to present this video on a Rumberas-style noir from Mexico from groundbreaking filmmaker Emilio Fernandez. Victimas del pecado. Victims of Sin. I'm glad to have found this film on Criterion, which looks beautifully recut from the negative with a remastered soundtrack. The movie definitely deserves it, as the film is about 27% music, 24 minutes of songs in a 90-minute movie, with dance numbers from the great Perez Prado and his orchestra. All good in my book. And while music does play a huge part of the film's plot, and is integrated into the storyline, the movie takes place in and around several dance hall nightclubs, so it is not a musical. Not enough can be said about the film's cinematography, the handiwork of master cinematographer Gabriel Figueroa. Born in Mexico, Figueroa was an early collaborator of American filmmakers Jack Conway and Howard Hawks in the pre-code era. Check out David O. Selznick's Viva Villa. And of course, Figueroa was a subsequent protege of DP Greg Toland, who was already considered the greatest cinematographer who ever lived at that time. Figueroa was indeed the cinematographer responsible for the Ariel Award-winning Los Olvidados by Luis Buñuel and John Huston's The Night of the Iguana, a film for which he was nominated for an Academy Award. Figueroa had collaborated with Fernandez on their earlier tour de force, Salon Mexico, another entry into the Rumberas genre, which were dark dramas accented with musical numbers, usually in the rumba form. The dances in Victims of Sin are expertly choreographed and danced by Ninon Sevilla, who is first and foremost remembered for her work in this film, as well as the high-profile Adventurera from 1949, Sensualidad from 1950, and Adventure in Rio in 1953. The Rumberas, or Cine de Rumberas, is a Mexican film genre that persisted during the noir age of the 1940s and 50s. It ran concurrent to the American film noir and screwball comedy age, and they all featured a female dancing and acting star. Like noir, they typically tell a story of a woman who confronts the restrictive moral and social conventions of her day. Unlike American noir, Rumberas have a vivid place in film history for its spotlight on Afro-Caribbean dances and folk tunes. The film plays out like a classic Greek tragedy, with touches of Italian opera in between. The movie is strongly topical as it deals with a woman rescuing a child who has been abandoned. The film ponders the moral questions of motherhood, prostitution, and the culture of violence. As the title of the film in both Spanish and English is Victims of Sin, you know you are in for a film with highly Catholic overtones. Interestingly enough though, in foreign markets, the film was marketed under various titles of a different nature, many with the word forbidden in it. In German, it was known as Forbidden Street. In Dutch, Forbidden Quarter, and in French, Forbidden Neighborhood. I would be curious to know if the subtitles tracks in these other languages reflect exactly what is said in the audio, as a handful of my Spanish-speaking students say the English subtitles are not exactly translated word for word. The contrast between the wholesome and savory characters are extreme, and the dances and death scenes are very dramatic. I wouldn't say that this last fact sets it apart from English language noir, but the drama in Victims of Sin is played out very physically. It is a noir that is very self-aware of its cultural value to non-Spanish speaking audiences. So there's less emphasis on dialogue as a plot-driving device. And for those of you who love watching films with badass women, there are multiple epic fight scenes. Make sure you keep Emilio Fernandez's films on your radar. And just as a piece of bonus trivia, did you know that there is a rumor that Fernandez's body was the model for the Academy Awards Oscar statuette?
Hi everyone. If you liked what you saw, please follow me at the social media accounts you see on the screen. If you wish to show more support, I will also include a link to my Patreon page and a link to purchase my new classroom textbook. Thank you so much again for visiting, and don't forget to subscribe.